If there's one thing we all know about a Thursday night divisional showdown in the AFC North, it's that we actually know nothing at all. And that's exactly how we're going to build lineups right now. You're watching the perfect lineup where Josh Engleman and myself, Dave Loughran, try and take down the tournament with one of these three beauties you see in this here video. I'll lay the foundation, build out the core with all three of them. Josh will take it over to the single lineup sims, let them do the rest of the work, and see what direction we should be going. And as always, if you want to get a free week of the Sims Max NFL edition, all of the tools for the entirety of the week in the NFL, leave a comment down below. Tell us who you think's going to win and by how much. Not the whole score. Just say Steelers by 5 or Bengals by 3. And if you happen to get it right, you're in business. Mind you, nobody got the Giants right by 17 last week. So maybe you got to take some chances. Let's get into it. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe along the way. All right, I mentioned to you guys right at the top, right? And I might throw Josh some curveballs today, but it makes sense. These AFC North games can be super weird. Like you could see a 13-10 game or a 38-35 game. You know, it's a weird spot. It's on a short week because it's Thursday, not a Monday night game. Things get weird. Even with Joe Flacco at the helm and not Joe Burrow, certainly things would look a little bit different if that were the case. So the first lineup I want to build, and I promise you, all three of these are different, and all three of these lineups are playing towards different potential game scripts. I don't want to build all three of them with the exact same concept in mind because, quite frankly, I'm not confident this game goes in one direction or the other. So let's cover our bases here. Even in 3-max contests, you can do this stuff. In single entry, you can play multiple single entry contests and do the same thing. I want to start with Steelers defensive captain. We're projecting them for virtually no ownership. They're a little bit expensive, but you know what? This is Joe Flacco making his second start with the Bengals. He acquitted himself relatively well in Lambeau in a tough matchup, but that doesn't mean he can't throw 2 pick sixes in a game like this. It doesn't mean that the Steelers can't get a strip sack and run it back for a touchdown at all. Now, I also think a very practical move could be playing the Steelers defensive captain, but also Joe Flacco in the flex. If he throws 2 interceptions and a pick 6, he can still be optimal, and so can the Steelers defense, especially if it's a lower scoring game and both of the Bengals, assuming they only have 2 touchdowns, come on Joe Flacco throws. So we'll go Steelers captain with Jaylen Warren and Kenny Gainwell. Now, obviously the approach in this specific core, now it could change when Josh runs it in the Sims, is that the Steelers kind of throttle the Bengals. I'm not confident this happens. I actually bet the Bengals plus 5.5, but it's very possible, right? I'm never going to bet a game and say, you know, I know it's going in this direction. It's a lock. Of course not. So yeah, I think in a spot like this, Arthur Smith wants to run the football. If they can take it out of Rodgers' hands in a spot like this, why not? And if the Steelers defense smothers the offense for Cincinnati and Chase Brown has got nothing going all year long, this makes for a situation where you could have both running backs for the Steelers be optimal in the flex, and then the Steelers captain be optimal as well. So it's a fun build. I'm excited to see how this one turns out, but I do think there is a path here. Sure, there's a needle you have to thread, but you have to thread the needle in every showdown lineup, no matter the game.
Alrighty, everybody, Loughy just set us up for lineup number 1. We're in the single lineup simulator at Stokastic.com, and we're starting it off with the defense in the captain spot. Steelers D, Jaylen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell. Very interesting start for this one. Loughy's taking us in a different direction. Defense, running back. Curious to see what we're going to get here. So I'm going to click complete this lineup. It's going to fill in the 3 most optimal plays for the $26,500 we have remaining. Let's see what it looks like. And we've got a hell of an onslaught here. Jonnu Smith gets added. Aaron Rodgers gets added. And then the solo Bengal, that is going to be Jamar Chase. It leaves us $700 on the table. We're going to click Run Lineup Simulation to find out how good it looks. Baby. Knocked it out of the park for the first one. Honestly, I kind of wish we would have saved this one for lineup number 3. What a victory that would have been. 121% sim ROI, 0.7% chance to win, 31% cash rate. The single lineup sims are loving Steelers D. All right, folks, here we go. Giveaway time. You needed to get Zach Ertz on Monday. He was the highest scorer of anybody that was priced below 5K. So now we are spinning the wheel to see who picks up the victory, who is going to win. And you're going to need to email support@stokastic.com if you are Donka544. Take a screenshot of the screen right now. Email support@stokastic.com. Claim your prize.
On to lineup number 2. All right, here's a fun one. And of course, you guys ever want to check out the single lineup sims tool, the pre-contest sims, the crown jewel over at Stokastic, ownership, player projections, top stack tool, the post-contest sim, late swap, all of that stuff. There's a link in the description that'll get you 25% off your first month of the NFL Core Sims month or NFL Max, right? 25% off the top, no promo code necessary. Perfect 25, but it's auto loaded into that link. So all you have to do is select what you want. You want access to all these tools, grab the entire month. Not to mention, you've got more Monday night doubleheaders. You've got Sunday morning football in London. So many slates coming up over the next month, heading into Thanksgiving, that a month right now is going to give you all you can handle as far as these slates go, as far as using the tools. All right, so second lineup, we're going to go chalky style build here, just because I want to see what happens when we sim it out on 10% randomness. Now, we're going Ja'Marr Chase at captain. Then we're going to go Joe Flacco, but we're going to throw the Steelers defense in there as well. This actually speaks to what I was talking about in our original build. I want the Steelers D in at flex. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm excited to see how it turns out. I want the Steelers D at flex because you could see Joe Flacco peppering Ja'Marr Chase, right? He was asked in a press conference after last week's game, like, if Ja'Marr Chase decided that he was just going to tell you he's running his own routes, what would you say? And Joe Flacco, and I'm paraphrasing, was basically like, I'd tell him, you do your thing, man. Go ahead. I'm along for the ride. That's what you do when you have an elite receiver like Ja'Marr Chase, the best in the league. Ja'Marr Chase, Joe Flacco. I was thinking about throwing Higgins in here, but it gets a little bit dicey. Instead, we're going Steelers D. The hope here, and this works a lot, but way more than you'd think, is that the Steelers defense has some big turnovers and scores. Totally possible as a 5.5-point road favorite. Short week, could be sloppy on offense, and then Joe Flacco is forced to play from behind, throw the football a lot. I think another way to play this interesting is if you wanted to throw Higgins in here and you wanted to get less chalky, my assumption is Darnell Washington will pop up a lot today at 2,000. He should. I bet him for the $2 million jackpot over there on Tails, but on FanDuel, but I posted it on Tails. A lot of same game parlays coming up on Tails, by the way, and Josh will have his perfect lineup Tails exclusive edition over there on his page. Link down there in the description. Make sure you're following us, guys. All the picks are free there, and we are making that platform every day so much better that there aren't many things that I look forward to more each day than seeing what we're able to do with that. So come join us for sure. Links down there, and Josh will tweet it out later. You could go Darnell Washington, and I want to get some. Pat Freiermuth may end up being the secret weapon here. No one wants to play him. We're projecting him for 7% ownership. If you're making chalky builds, you might want to play the guy on a Thursday night where these rogue tight ends always score, that pops out of nowhere, starts getting more snaps again because they don't need Darnell Washington blocking as much as he has in the past 2 weeks, and Freiermuth ends up being the beneficiary. They run more 2 tight end sets, but without Washington. So food for thought there. If you're looking to get a little different, that may be a way to do it. Ja'Marr Chase with Flacco and Steelers at flex. Like I said, you want to throw Higgins in there. Freiermuth might be a decent run back to make it less chalky, because it'll still be chalky if you're going Flacco +2.
Slightly different outlook here for lineup number 2. We are overlapping on 2 of our plays, but we're moving them around a little bit. Loughy gave us Ja'Marr Chase in the captain spot. That part, not super surprising. We know what we're getting there. Welcome to the lineup, Joe Flacco. Obviously, if you're going to put Chase in the captain spot, Flacco coming back on the other side makes some sense. But what if Flacco looks a little dicey? Maybe a pick 6 involved in these parts? That would be helpful. Because we've got the Steelers defense here again. $16,800 left. Loughy wants to use a little bit of randomness on this one, though. I see 10% in the notes, so I'm setting this to 10. We're going to click complete this lineup and find out the rest of it. All right, we add our second quarterback. Aaron Rodgers shows up. Darnell Washington shows up. And we get Jonnu Smith. 4-2 Steelers. $1,000 left on the table. This one has a chance to be pretty unique. I'm excited to see it. Don't forget that like button, by the way. okay, we took a little bit of a step back, but this is still a good lineup to use. 42% sim ROI, 0.2% chance for the win, 32% cash rate, more than acceptable. And there are some tweaks in that lineup that I think we can make that could improve the overall performance. But we still got one more left to go. I'm anxious to see what Loughy cooks up.
And the final one here, the final lineup, let's get, not weird, but we're actually going Steelers flex at defense again because we're going to play an interesting one. We're throwing Evan McPherson, not our friend Emac. We're throwing Evan McPherson in at flex, and we're going Jaylen Warren at captain. If the Steelers can dictate the pace of this game, Jaylen Warren's going to get a lot of work. The defense is more than likely going to produce, and because you have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and you have Joe Flacco, who's still more competent than Jake Browning, far less competent than Joe Burrow, he's still going to move the ball, but it may be one of these in between the 20 type spots. The game stays low scoring. They are okay with kicking field goals despite still losing. And it's a low scoring affair where the Steelers D shows up, Evan McPherson shows up, and Jaylen Warren gets more than enough work at captain to be optimal. So those are our three lineups. Let's see how Josh sims this final one out. I'm going to go plug some more same game parlays with the boosts in over at Tails, throw some DFS information up there over as well. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Main slate, perfect lineup. Have a good night.
Here we go. Lineup number 3, Jaylen Warren in the captain spot, thanks to Loughy. This should, that's a very different start. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's 12% owned in the captain, but I think we're taking this in a different direction, especially when we see Evan McPherson slot into that flex spot. And we've got our Steelers defense once again. I think they are a linchpin on this slate. One more reminder though for you guys. This video isn't it. Keep your eyes peeled. Link in the description. Make sure you're following Loughy and I on Twitter. I will be posting a bonus perfect lineup to my Tails account. You gotta go there to see it. Totally free. But if you want the bonus, you gotta follow us along on Tails. I'm excited to see what's left. $26,600 remaining for these 3 spots. I think we're gonna see Chase. We might see DK Metcalf here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Aaron Rodgers, but that 6th spot, that one's gonna get weird. All right, another lineup with $1,000 left on the table. Rodgers in, Gainwell in, Flacco in. So we're going Flacco, Evan McPherson. I could see that path. The things that Flacco does, sprays the ball around, drives die, so no other individuals hop in, but Flacco does enough from volume. McPherson gets a bunch of field goals. Steelers D can still be good. I'm excited for this one. I don't think it'll be the first lineup, but it's going to beat the second. Or I'm going to be very, very wrong, but we still hit the green ever so slightly. 0.3% sim ROI, 0.2% chance to win, 26% cash rate. Floor is a little bit lower here, but the ceiling not horrific at that 1.3% top 10 rate. We got 3 in the books. I don't think it's the third one. It could be the second one, but that first lineup looks absolutely perfect.